Hello and welcome to DataSunrise functionality demonstration video. In today's video, we will discuss how to create a single entry point for multiple DataSunrise clusters deployed in AWS. In today's video, we will be using AWS Application Load Balancer in order to achieve our goal. Single entry point for multiple DataSunrise cluster web UI management consoles will be extremely useful for those who are using multiple independent clusters deployed in AWS. As you know, managing several clusters deployed by CloudFormation can be really challenging because you have to keep a track on all the entry points for your consoles. You can get rid of this nuisance by creating a single entry point. In today's video, we will show you how to accomplish this goal. In order to establish a single entry point, before deploying stacks, you have to create an application load balancer. Then, you have to create a special local service config JSON file and register application load balancer DNS name in this file, in this JSON file. In today's video, we will be using two independent stacks with their independent configuration databases and audits. We will be using two cluster case in today's video. First cluster will serve purpose for production environment, and second cluster will be for user acceptance test. We will be using query string in our application load balancer host in order to tell DataSunrise and application load balancer where to bring us. Query string values are prod and UAT respectively. Moreover, in order to accomplish our goal, we have to modify our CloudFormation script and add an additional resource to the default template. I have highlighted the resource name. We have to create a target group for our single entry point and attach it to our application load balancer. And then finally, you have to modify your user data section of CloudFormation template to deliver our local server's config JSON file to the winding up EC2 machine. In order to save time, I have pre-created my clusters. Let's see what you should do in order to prepare application load balancer. Now let's proceed to the application load balancer we have created and tune it to our needs. To do that, we will create a simple set of rules for our listener. Let's do this. We will be using the same technique here based on the query string. So let's add our rules. First, we will add a rule which would bring us to the production environment. So the query string is ds equals prod. And the action is forward to the corresponding production target group. Let's save the rule and insert another. Now let's create an entry for the user acceptance testing cluster we have. And now let's choose to forward to the user acceptance testing target group. That's done. And finally, let's reconfigure the default action. Let's use something like return fixed response with the code 400, which means that you have to do something with the request. Let's prompt here that please input the proper query string and provide a syntax just in case. Let's save it. Now we have configured our application load balancer to redirect us to the desired cluster of DataSunrise. Now let's test how our single entry point works. For this, I will copy DNS name of my application load balancer and we'll check how it works. Let's check our scenario with 3 rules we created for our listener. So The default route will bring us to the fixed text page, which suggests us to choose the proper query string. Let's try and visit our production environment by attaching ds equals prod query string. Okay, let's log in into our management console. So we were brought to the production environment. Let's inspect it. So this environment protects our PostgreSQL customer production database. Now we can go to the other cluster management console by simply clicking and evoking a drop-down list from the top right corner. So let's click on it, and here we will see the cluster names which we have registered using local service config JSON file, which we upload to the created EC2 machine. Let's go to the user acceptance testing cluster. Now we're being redirected to the other cluster. Let's log into this cluster too. So I managed to log in into this cluster. Let's check what this cluster is for. So here I can see that this cluster is pointed at some MySQL customer user acceptance test database. Now let's try and switch between our clusters while web sessions are still alive on both of our clusters. Very good. Now we will brought back to our production cluster. And again, let's go back to our user acceptance. Very good. Let's try and switch from some other page. Very good. We were brought to our production environment once again. So, to sum up, in today's video we discussed how to create a single entry point for multiple independently deployed DataSunrise clusters. For this, we use CloudFormation script and slightly modified it by adding additional resource for our application load balancer and by creating a local service config JSON file, which we later uploaded to our machines using user data bootstrap option. Hope this feature will help you in your daily routine managing multiple DataSunrise clusters deployed on AWS. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.